Hello friends, welcome back to our second MS SQL tutorial class. Now, without wasting any time, let us see in the first line. In the first line, we are trying to create a database which is named as class 1. What is a database? A database is a storage or collection of multiple tables or even a single table. Inside tables, we have information stored in row column format. So you have to give this command create database and then give the database name which is class 1 and select this line number 1, go to execute and run it, that is hit the execute button. After that the database will be created and you are ready to use it. In order to use it, you have to select this line number to use class 1 and give this execute button. Now as you can see here, the commands have been generated successfully. There is commands completed successfully. And go to the left hand side under the object explorer. There you expand the database and you can go to this database that we created, class 1. Under this we have got some tables, that is go to some tables, user defined tables we have got. Alright, so this is your class 1. Now in line number 4, give this command create table 1. Under databases we create tables and inside tables we have information stored in row column format. So in order to create a table that will be stored under a database, in this case it is class 1 which is the database, and under this we are going to create a table that is named as table 1. So give this command create table, then the table name, that is table 1. And inside a table what do we have? We have columns and rows. Now columns are also known as fields, so you have to specify the fields inside a table and then also specify what kind of data type will be stored, what kind of data type will be stored under each field. So first field is EID. You can basically say that it is like employee ID. So it is used to store the IDs of employees, ID numbers of employees. What kind of data type I am giving here? Char. Char basically stands for when the data type length is fixed. Like if there are 10 employees in an organization and all of them will have their EIDs, so all the EIDs will be of the same length. Alright, that's why here we use char. I'm giving it here the maximum limit as 6, that is maximum number of characters that can be stored under this field will be 6, not more than that. Then the next field that I'm creating is name field. So name field will basically store the names of various employees, and the data type that I am assigning here with respect to this name field is varchar, that is variable char. Variable char is used whenever under a column we have values of different data type lengths. Like here if you see, in case of this EID, as I told you, that employee IDs of employees in an organization, they all will be of the same data type length, say E1001, E1002, E1003. So the data type length is fixed for all the rows under this column. But under the name column we can have various types of names which can be of various types of data type, various types of lengths. That is here the data that will be stored under this name column, they can be of various lengths. That's why I've given here as varchar, the data type, and the maximum limit I have set here is 40. So the number of characters that will be stored in each row under this name field will not exceed 40. It will be maximum up to, you can give it as 40. And name can be small, name can be big, name can be medium. That's why I've given it here as 40. Then the next field or column that you're trying to give is the city field, that is city column. Now under this city field or city column we will have city names, and that data type that I am specifying here is varchar, that stands for variable character. That means here also the data type length for this particular column it will be variable, unlike the EID column where the data type length is fixed. Just like name, for the city column also the data type length will be variable, and I have specified the maximum limit for it as 20. That is in each row for this city column the maximum number of characters that can be stored will be 20, not more than that. and then the final column or the final field that I'm setting up here is DOB, date of birth, for example, say. It is the date of birth of employees. Alright, under this field you can store the date of birth for the employees. A data type available is date time. This is the data type. Under this DOB column, you can store the date of births of employees in this format, date time format. And if you basically select this particular select asterisk from table 1, if you run this line number 7, then you will see that the table has been created, but the fields are there, but the values are empty because no values have been inserted in under these columns, under these fields for this table. So first of all, there we have to insert values into the table. All right, so the command for this is insert into, then give the table name, that is table 1, and then give this syntax values, and then you have to give a parenthesis. Like here, first bracket you are giving, there is a parenthesis. Inside this, accordingly to each column, you have to specify the values, and this will be for one row. Then to move to the second row, you have to give comma, and again give parenthesis, or you can say first bracket. Inside this also you have to give values for the specific fields, give comma so as to move to the third row. Then as you move to the third row, again you have to give parenthesis or single brackets. Inside that, specify the values, give comma, and you will be able to move to the fourth row. And in order to define the fourth row, you have to enclose the values of the fields inside this parenthesis or inside this first bracket, and then you can give comma and move to another row. This is the fifth row, and for the fifth row also the values need to be enclosed inside single brackets or parenthesis. Alright, so like for example, I have created here 5 rows. This is the first row, then the second row, then the third row, then the fourth row, and then the fifth row. So for example, in the first row, this E1001 is the value that will be entered under this particular column, EID. Then this value will be entered under the name column. I mean, here you see to provide delimiters between columns, you have to use comma inside the single brackets also. Alright, so once you give the value for the EID field inside the single inverted commas, because these are all char, varchar, string, that's why we are specifying inside the single inverted comma. Now to give the value to the next column or field, you have to give a comma after you have given the value for the previous field. Alright, so for the next field, that is for name, before entering value here, you have to give a comma, and then again give single inverted comma. Inside this, you can specify the value for the name field. Then in order to give value for the third field or column, again you have to give a comma, and as because it's a varchar, you have to, that means it's a string, so you have to provide single inverted comma. Inside this, give the value for the first row under the city column, that is New York. Then in order to give the value for the next field of the next column, again give comma, and then you have to give single inverted comma, and inside this you have to give the value for the date of birth. That will be in the first row under this DOB column. So that will be the date of birth for this particular person, Mr. John Day Breto. These are some random names and random values that I have given here in order to create our database. Alright, like dummy kind of values I have given here just for this class purpose, explanation purpose. So in the same way, you can give values for the other rows also, for second row, then for third row, then for fourth row, then for fifth row. Once the values have been entered, and you have to select from line number 9 to line number 14, and you have to hit this execute button. Alright, once the values have been entered, then in order to see the table, you can go to line number 7 and select asterisk from table 1. Now see why it is showing invalid object name table 1, because I have not yet hit the execute buttons. So first of all, create this table 1 and executed commands completed successfully. So no error in this. Now if you select this particular line number 7 and see, table is created, the fields are generated here like EID, name, city, DOB, but these fields are empty. That means you have to enter the values in each row with respect to each column. So select from line number 9 to line number 14, execute. 5 rows affected, that means now the values have been entered. Go back to line number 7, select asterisk from table 1, hit the execute button, and there you go. Your table has been populated with all these values. So under each column you have these values that we have entered here. 5 rows are there. Now suppose I want to make some modification to this table, that is I want to add another extra column or field to this particular table. So that means I will be doing some alteration inside the table. Then only I will be able to basically add a new column to this particular table. Like I have already EID, name, city, DOB, these are the columns. A new column I want to enter, say phone. So in SQL, how can you do it? You have to give command that alter table. Whatever is in the blue is in the command, and then give their table name like table 1. Then move to the next line, add, alright, and give the column name. So you want to enter a 5th column here, you have to give a name to it. I have given it here as phone. You can give anything, whatever you like, and then specify that data type, that what kind of data I'm going to store under this particular column. Again, I have given here varchar, variable character, because phone numbers, I know it's of fixed data type length, but just for your understanding purpose, I have kept it as varchar, because here we may use some dummy phone numbers like which actually do not exist, so that it does not match up with anyone. So I will try to use some dummy phone numbers, and those will be of various data type lengths, but the maximum data type length is 15. So just for creating dummy phone numbers, which I may give randomly, some may be of say 6 characters, some may be of 7 characters, some may be of 10 characters. That's why I've given here varchar as the data type for this particular field, phone. Anyways, let us see. So alter table, table 1. We are making alteration in the table. What kind of alteration? We are adding a new column, which is phone, which is of varchar data type, to this particular table. So from line number 16 to 17, you have to select and hit the execute button. Commands completed successfully. Now to see your result, how will the table look like? Again, go back to line number 7, select asterisk from table 1. Asterisk means you can basically selecting everything, selecting all the rows, all the columns from this particular table. Okay, so in order to display your table, you have to give this command, select asterisk from table 1, means every column or every field of this particular table will be shown. Execute. Now you see EID is there, name is there, city is there, DOB is there, and another new column has been added, which is your phone column. And another phone column, what are the values? Null, 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 null. Null means actually we given any values, like for these other fields or for these columns we gave values, but for this particular column we didn't give any values. Blank, missing values. So missing values are basically nothing but your null values. Alright. If we would have entered any dedicated values under this phone column, then those values would have been shown under this column. But as we have not entered any values, so those are missing values, and missing values are treated as null values in MS SQL. So for each row under the phone column, you see null, 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 null. Null means null values, that is missing values. Alright. So this is how you can make alteration in a particular table. Now another alteration you want to make, say for example, what was our field? Name field. Now the name field, the data type was varchar, and we gave it its maximum limit as 40. There is maximum 40 number of characters can be stored in each row, maximum, under this field. Now suppose there is a bigger name of an employee which might occupy 50 characters. So that means now if there are 10 employees and a new employee has joined, and the name of that particular employee can consist of say 50 characters. Alright. So I have to make adjustment to ensure that the particular name of that particular employee has to be entered into the table. So that means I have to change this limit from 40 to 50. Rest is same, like name is name and varchar is varchar. Only the upper limit has to be modified from 40 to 50, so that the new employee's name can be inserted into that table without any kind of problem. If I keep it as 40, then that particular person's name won't be inserted into the table. So that's why I've written here alter table, then give the table name, which is table 1. Okay, so we are making an alteration into our table. Which table? Table 1. What kind of alteration? Now here, alter the column. Previously we were adding a new column, which was phone, and when you're adding a new column to an existing table, no need to specify the column word. But when you have a column and you're trying to make some changes in that existing column of that existing table, then as you are making changes in the table, you are giving alter table, then give the table name table 1. And in the next line, what you have to specify, that you are altering the column of a table. Altering the column of a table means the column is already existing in the table, and you are basically altering the existing column of the table. So you have to give this command alter column and then give the column name, which is in my case name. Okay, so alter then column. So you are trying to alter a column and then give the column name, which is your name. Here only have given this particular field's name, you have to specify here. Then give the data type, which is varchar, and inside it I have given it as 50, so that the maximum limit is changed from 40 to 50. Now you select lines 19 to 20, execute, commands completed successfully. Now in order to see the change, whether it has been reflected here or not, go back to the left hand side under the Object Explorer, the database under which I have created this table, which is my class 1 is the database. Expand it, after expansion, search for the table. Or just now see, whenever you make changes in MS SQL, after you have made the changes, and if you want to see the results on the left hand side, basically you can click the database like class 1 and hit the refresh button. So the new changes will be implicated inside this. Now you have this class 1 database, go to tables, expand, and you see the name of the table is table 1, this one, dbo.table1. dbo.table1, dbo stands for database object. All right, dot, and after that you have to specify the table name. Automatically it is created here. You can expand it here. Automatically created because of the query. This is like running a query. All right, this code is nothing but it's like running a query for your database. Now after you expanded table 1, now go to columns, expand it and slide it down slightly. See your name column. In the name column, the varchar has been changed from 40 to 50. Okay, EID we didn't make any changes, city we didn't make any changes, DOB we didn't make any changes. Phone was the new column that we added to this existing table, and name was already there. We just altered it, we just modified it, that is changed its data type maximum length from 40 to 50. So now roll it back here. Now for example, now I suppose I don't need this phone column in my table. I don't need this phone column in my table. So what can we do? We have to drop this phone column from my table, delete this phone column, demolish this phone column from my table. That means again you are making changes inside your table. That means you have to give this command alter table 1 and then drop column phone. Here you have to specify drop, then you have to specify column and then give the column name, that is which column you want to demolish or which column you want to drop from your existing table. And when column is dropped, that means modification is happening in your table. That's why you have to give here alter table, then give the table name, then drop column, that is the syntax, and then the column name. Then lines 22 to 30, 22 to 23 you have to select and execute. Commands completed successfully. Just to see your results, here also directly you can write select asterisk from table 1. All right, now select this line number 25, execute, and see the phone column is gone from your table. The phone column is gone from your table. All right, now suppose I want to make some other changes inside this table. All right, before that, this is another command, that is suppose I want to drop my entire table. This table that we have seen here, table 1 been created, I want to drop it completely. So that is, I want to demolish this table. Okay, whatever I created, I want to demolish it. For that also you have option. So you have to give this command drop, then table, and then give the table name, that is table 1. So drop table, table 1. You have to execute. Commands completed successfully. Now if you go to line number 25, select asterisk from table 1 and want to see the results. See, error is displayed here, invalid object name table 1, because the table 1 now does not exist. Table 1 does not exist under your database class 1. So you have to recreate it again. So for that, what to do? Go to line number 4, and from 4 to 5 you have to do this again. Create table, table 1, then select asterisk from table 1 and then insert these values just like previously we did it. Execute. 5 rows affected. Alright, now phone column already we inserted and then we deleted, and we won't be using the phone column anymore. In the next couple of classes we shall have some idea on the phone column, like for various types of keys how can we use it. And the only kind of change that I can do here is I can change this name, that is varchar 40 to 50, and select asterisk from table 1 and your table is displayed. Now see another thing here, under the DOB column, under the DOB column the values are basically stored in this format, date time format. So date time is the data type given for this DOB column. Now date time format means year, month, day, that is DD, and then the timestamp. So year, which is, say for example in the case of first row under the DOB column 1985, that is the year. 01 is the month, January. 01 is the day, that is 01 January 1995. So after, besides that, you have this timestamp. I don't require this timestamp. I only require year, month, and date. That is DD. Year, month, date format I need. So that means I am changing. Previously we saw the DOB was in date time format, but I want to change it to the date format so that this timestamp is not reflected here. So what to do? That means you are again making alteration in your existing table, because you are going to make an alteration in your column. Whenever you are going to make an alteration in your column, that means you are making an alteration in your table. That's why you have to give this command again in line number 32, alter table, then give the table name, that is table 1. Then in the next line, alter column. You have to mention this instruction to the SQL that you're trying to now alter a column, that is make changes in the existing column, and then give the column name, which is DOB, and then give its new data type, that is date. So the data type will be changed from date time to date for this DOB column. Select and execute. Now if you want to see the results, select asterisk from employee, and now you see, not from asterisk from employee, this is from another table. Select asterisk from table 1 in line number 35 and execute. Now you see under the DOB column you don't have the timestamps. You have YY, DD, that is year, month, date format. You have your data stored under the DOB column in each row in the year, month, date format. 1985 is the year, for example in the first row. 01 is the month, January, and 01 is the date, first. All right. Now insert is a command which is used in the DML context. In SQL, if anyone asks you in the interview, what do you mean by DML? DML stands for data manipulation language. Under data manipulation language, DML, we mainly have 3 commands: insert, update, and delete. We have already seen the application of this insert command. What does it do? Now with the help of insert command, we are able to insert values inside the table. Now suppose I want to update some row values of this table. For that I need to use this command update. Alright, so for example, say here this EID, it consists of 5 values. Alright, now wherever the EID value is E10004. That's where the cursor will go. That is, the SQL will go and will select that particular row. And there I want to change the date of birth. Right now it is 1980-02-23, and I want to change it to say 1988-03-23. So this is the table you have overall, and in this particular table you have this DOB column, and under this DOB column you want to change this value 1980-02-23. You want to change this value to this new value. So you have to identify the particular row, and for identifying the particular row I can use this column EID, where EID is equals to E10004. So this row will be selected. Then you have to give the name of the column where you want to update the value, so that is DOB, and you have to give the new value, and this new value will replace this old value. So 1980-02-23 will be replaced by 1988-03-23. So the same command overall for this will be, you have to give this keyword update, then you have to specify the table name, that is, you are trying to update your table. You're trying to update your table. So you have to give update keyword, and after that give the table name, which is table 1. Then give this keyword set. That is, you are trying to set a new value to your column of the table. So give the name of the column, which is DOB, is equals to, now this date is also in basically ultimately string format, so hence we are giving it in single inverted commas, and give the new value. Give the new value, which is 1988-03-23. And you have to make the SQL understand that in which particular row this value under the DOB column will be inserted. So for that you have to give this keyword where, that is wherever this EID is equals to E10004. So overall, so let us run lines 37 to 38, execute. I want to see the result and give execute. Now you see, previously it was 1980 under the DOB column for this particular employee ID E10004. The date of birth was 1980. Now it has been changed to 1988-03-23. That is the new value that I gave. And again, similar kind of things, say suppose I want to do. Now this is also an employee, Mr. Rohit Kumar, say for example, a dummy names these I've given here, and his employee ID is E10005, and I want to change his date of birth to something else. Say it is 1986-03-30, that is in the month of March, but in reality it needs to be corrected to 1986-05-30, that is May. Everything is same, year is same, date is same, only the month will be changed from March to May. So again the same thing, you have to give update table, that is table name, set the new value under the column, which column, DOB is equals to the new value. You have to specify here the new value is 1986-03-30, since date is string, for in the string format also, that's why you have to give in inside the single inverted comma, where. So you have to make it understandable to the SQL that where this new value under this DOB column will be inserted. So where, then you have to give this row identifier EID, wherever EID is E10005. So wherever EID is E10005, corresponding to that row, you have this column DOB, and under the DOB column with respect to this particular row, this new value 1986-03-30 has to be inserted. So again select lines 40 to 41, execute. Now to see the changes have been reflected or not, select asterisk from table 1 and you go, here you go, 1986-03-30 is the new value that has been inserted. Okay, now for example say so this is update is also a part of DML. Then the next part under DML is delete. Suppose you want to delete a particular row. Suppose I want to delete this particular row. This is the fifth row. All right, and I want to delete this entire row from my table. So what can I write here? Delete from table 1. You have to specify the name of the table. So you have to give these commands here. There is with the help of these keywords, delete from table 1, the name of the table, where EID is equals to your E10005. So here EID is E10005, and this entire row will be now selected and deleted from this table. So execute. One row affected. Now you will see that entire record of the last employee is gone from the table. See, now we are left with only 4 rows. All the names, there is all the columns are there. There is all the fields are there. Their corresponding values are there, but only up to 4 rows. The first 4 rows. The last row I deleted thanks to this particular value of EID, which I used to select that entire row and gave this command delete from table 1, specified wherever the EID is this particular value E10005. Alright. Now another thing, if I want to delete each and every record, I want to delete all the records from the table, but I want the table to remain. I want the table to remain, but I want all the records to be deleted from this table. Then what can I do? Go to line number 48 and select this line number 48, delete from table 1 and execute. 4 rows affected. That means all the 4 records which were now there inside the table, they are now gone, but the table will be there. Select and execute, or select from this will be table 1. I have given here the name of another table that I had created under this particular database. Execute. Now you see the table is there because the fields are there. EID is there, name is there, city is there, DOB is there, but all the corresponding values, records, all of them are gone. So what to do? Again, you have to do the same thing. Create this you shouldn't do, because if you do this, error will come because table is there. No need to create this table 1. See, the table is there. What you need to do is that only you need to insert these values. Alright, and see the results. Select asterisk from table 1. 5 rows are there. Alright, and create table must not give create table 1 because the table was not demolished. The table was there. The records only got deleted. So the table is saved there. When you're giving this command, delete from table 1, all the records are gone, but the table is there. That's why the DOB is also in the date format, not in the date time format. Now comes the part of DQL. So before we move to DQL, if you basically try to recollect the things, I was talking about DML. DML stands for data manipulation language. Under that, we mainly use insert, update and delete so as to manipulate our data. See our data. Now, if you go to line number 52, here, now initially I was giving select asterisk from table 1. Asterisk means all the fields, all the columns you will be able to see from the table. But say I want to see selected fields, or I want to see selected columns from my table, then you can give it like this: select, then give the names of the columns or the names of the fields that you want to see, like EID. Okay, EID we have here, so give EID, then give this delimiter, comma, then give the name of the next field or the next column. The name of the next field or the next column is name only. Then from which table you want to see? From table 1. And select EID common name from table 1, execute, and you see only these 2 fields are displayed alongside with their values from this table 1. Alright, so hopefully you have understood all these things, and we shall meet again in the next class. So that's it from my side for this video. Thank you.